So California Governor Gavin Newsom has really been trying to position himself as a 2028 presidential candidate.
When I saw you slinging shots behind the coffee bar, I thought this guy might run for president.
The idea that a guy who got 960 on his SAT that still struggles to read scripts, that was always in the back of the classroom, the idea that you even throw that out is in and of itself extraordinary. Who the hell knows?
Is it fair to say after the 2026 midterms, you're going to give it serious thought?
Yeah, I'd be lying otherwise. I'd just be lying, and I can't do that.
And while he's trying to appear relatable to the working folk, like serving coffee to people, he ends up exposing himself as inauthentic, like when he was trying to seem like he came from humble beginnings.
But also, it was also about paying the bills, man. And it was just like hustling. I was out there kind of raising myself, turning on the TV, sitting there with the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
it's like the White Stack 5 story.
Come on. Macaroni and cheese.
Bro. Are you talking about me?
Yo, YG.
YG, man.
Every day in the backyard, just bouncing the basketball, throwing the ball against the wall, and your arms yourself. Then this student is in the back with his head down, all of a sudden started throwing the baseball a little faster than everyone else. Make a few free throws because I was sitting there practicing 500 of them every damn night. And in high school, I look up in the stands, my dad's back up there.
Okay. Dope.
And it's like, man. And then he's bringing his friends and you're captain of the team. And you're like, geez, and it just saved me. And it got me into college.
Which I will say that he wasn't lying about his academic history, as he did grow up with dyslexia, which would make your academic life harder. And he did play baseball in high school. But while Newsom originally claimed that he played baseball the first 2 years at Santa Clara University before injuring his arm, several people recalled that he was only around as a freshman and was not on the 1986 roster when he would have been a sophomore. And he also wasn't seen as one of the standout prospects. And what's more, the idea that baseball was the sole reason he got to go to college was at least not 100% true, because he only got a $500 scholarship out of a $10,251 tuition per year. And also, Newsom's family solicited letters of rec from Governor Jerry Brown, who attended Santa Clara University for 1 year and appointed Newsom's dad to the Superior Court and the State Court of Appeals, as well as from John Mallon, who was on Santa Clara's Board of Regents at the time, and was William Newsom's best friend. Which leads me into my next point, because that shows that his family had money, as his father was close friends with Gordon Getty, son of oil tycoon J. Paul Getty. And Gavin Newsom's family worked not only as a legal advisor for the company, but also as that family's tax attorney, and directly managed that family's trust, which is worth billions of dollars. And Gavin Newsom hung out with the Gettys, like he did on this Children of the Rich feature of the San Francisco Chronicle. Or how about the fact that he was voted most stylish in high school with what seems to be a Burberry scarf? Point is, this whole idea that he had to pull himself up from the bootstraps, well, those boots were definitely Gucci laced. He had connections. And then him talking about how he'd eat Wonder Bread every night while talking in somewhat of a black accent. It's like, how stereotypical can you get? It's so fake. And Charlie Kirk called that out after making an appearance on Gavin's podcast.
So in closing, what are my thoughts? I think Gavin Newsom wants to run to the middle. Should we trust him? No, I don't think it's legitimate. I don't think it's authentic. I will say their team told us they would not edit a piece of footage, and they didn't. And they deserve credit for that. They were honest brokers. But I don't think that Gavin Newsom is actually having a metamorphosis on any issue. I don't think Gavin Newsom has any closely held issues. I think he cares about what will keep him in power and get him closer to the presidency.
And I think the lack of authenticity has pushed other podcasters away from inviting him to talk, one of them being Joe Rogan.
Have you been on Newsom's podcast yet?
He would probably have me on. I'm not interested. It's not like I'm opposed to talking to Democratic politicians. I'll talk to anybody. But that guy, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Which in June of this year, Joe Rogan did have Bernie on his podcast, so he is being genuine when he says it's not because Gavin is Democrat. For Joe, it's that Gavin Newsom likes to deflect.
You can't ruin a city and then go on to ruin a state and say, guys, that was just practice.
I know.
Once I get it as a president, I'm going to fix it. Fix it all.
I mean, it's so crazy, but he's such a great politician. I mean,
No,
he's so smooth.
He's
you
not,
don't think
though.
so?
No, I think he's terrible.
How's he remained in power for so long?
Low competition. There's no one who's good is competing against him. There's no sincerity.
I should say he's not a good. I should say smooth. He comes.
He's
smooth.
a good bullshit artist.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But it's like what the things that he says when he gets confronted with things. We're the highest this and the highest that. Like everybody's leaving.
Yeah.
You have the highest unemployment.
Yeah.
You have the highest homelessness.
Look what they did with Hollywood.
Money's missing. You killed Hollywood. Hollywood doesn't exist anymore. It's literally gone.
That was such
you
an easy
mandated
one.
vaccines for kids that didn't need them. You guys, he did horrible shit.
And the funny thing is, Gavin Newsom then quote tweeted that video saying, Joe Rogan is too chicken to have me on his show, and exposes listeners to the truth, which is California is the 4th largest economy in the world, number 1 in manufacturing, farmer, new business starts, tech, VC investments, Fortune 500 companies, and public higher education. Which he then got called out for literally doing what Joe Rogan says he does. Brag about how California is number 1 in all these things, yet people are fleeing your state. And that California is also number 1 in homelessness, unemployment, and wasteful government spending. And the thing is, Gavin Newsom does this even when, for example, talking about the wildfires in California.
Sticking with permitting, I want to turn to the fires in Los Angeles, which you mentioned earlier. President Trump's been extremely critical of the state's response to the fires. You've pushed back, saying he's got his facts wrong. Setting all that aside, but here's the question, because I think we now have we're 8 months past it. We're 8 months past those tragic fires. Looking back, what could Los Angeles have done better, and what could the state have done better to prepare for an event like that and respond in the immediate aftermath?
California is the largest aerial firefighting fleet in the world. We've doubled the CAL FIRE state budget in the last 6 years. LA County is the most resourced county in the United States of America in terms of firefighting personnel. We pre-positioned 104 engines from Northern California and throughout the region. We were on site within hours of that fight. Here was the challenge. You had 100-mile-an-hour winds attached to a fire. Unprecedented, in the middle of the winter. We had the red flag warnings, the Office of Emergency Services, all our partnership and mutual aid system had begun the process of pre-positioning, and they were overwhelmed by that moment. There's an after-action report that's about to come out that I believe, I haven't had a chance to review it, will only reinforce the frame that I just presented. And that's the new reality we're in.
So is the answer nothing? There's nothing?
There's, of course, everything. But this idea that there's a spigot of water and we could have turned the sprinklers on is what the President of the United States said.
Which I didn't want to get
that's
into.
what he said. You can't, but don't allow that to be normalized. That's not trivial.
Right.
Because he was winning that debate in the early part. He was shape-shifting what people were saying. He had this guy, Elon Musk, doing the same. Shape-shifting, winning the messaging war.
I mean, this whole thing of deflecting and blaming Donald Trump is the reason why the Democrats lost the 2024 election. These people do not learn their lesson. And then he has the nerve to call Joe Rogan out.
For years and years, he's been attacking me, and it's one way, and he won't have me on. He's consistently not having me on. By the way, I'm moving on. I have no interest.
You're done with him?
Joe Rogan's the Facebook of podcasting. He was sitting across one of the brightest minds in podcasting right now. The guy was in the mic. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of people at the mic doing extraordinary things in podcasting.
Joe Rogan's got a pretty big audience still.
You know what? But with all due respect, if he has a big audience but he doesn't have big enough confidence to have me on.
Well, you called him a chicken.
But here's the thing. These guys, they all have something in common. It's one way. They attack, they belittle, they demean, they take things out of context. But this is a serious thing.
Yeah.
And so often we just sit back and go, oh, God, I really would love to go on. Oh, if Kamala Harris just went on Joe Rogan, she would have won. It's not. It's so much deeper than that. And the unwillingness for a guy like that to even have the common courtesy to attack someone and not have the decency to say, you know what, why don't you have a chance to come on? Let's have a civil dialogue. I've watched you on podcasts with like Sean Ryan, who's a close buddy of his. He had the courage on me have 4 hours.
Right.
Sean Hannity, folks like that. And so if I can go on Sean Ryan and Sean Hannity, what are you worried about? Joe, you're going to cook me. Or I'm going to cook myself.
Which, to be fair, Joe Rogan has been taking shots at Gavin Newsom, so Gavin has the right to defend himself. But you're calling Joe a chicken, saying he doesn't have the confidence or the decency to have you on and have a civil debate. All the while, Gavin Newsom groveling, begging Joe to bring him on his podcast. Then saying, oh, well, these other people, Sean Ryan, Sean Hannity, they've had me on. Yeah, they made a choice to have you on. Joe Rogan is making the choice as well to not have you on because he views you as disingenuous, which whether or not that's accurate, take that and move on. And for Gavin, maybe there's a lesson in there to adjust his strategy. But guys, thank you as always for watching. If you appreciated my commentary, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, hopefully I've earned your subscription. Here's some more videos for you to watch in the meantime. Until next time, peace out.